From the Chattahoochee Tech Studio, welcome to the Marietta Daily Journal podcast. Today is Tuesday, December 6th, and happy 55th birthday to film director Judd Apatow. I'm Dan Ratcliffe, and here are your top stories presented by Credit Union of Georgia. Kennesaw kicked off the holiday season with its parade. Braves legend Fred McGriff is now a Hall of Famer, and nearly a third of Cobb voters have voted early. We'll have all this and more coming up on the Marietta Daily Journal podcast.
You deserve better than your bank. Better service, better rates, better solutions. If you live or work in Cobb County, now is the perfect time to make the switch to Credit Union of Georgia, the better way to bank. Since 1960, Credit Union of Georgia has been providing Northwest Georgia with financial solutions that make sense for your home, business, and family. As a homegrown, not-for-profit cooperative, our members are our mission. Not only will you get the best loan rates, you'll get personalized customer service from people who understand your needs. Plus, Credit Union of Georgia provides real convenience with a network of more than 30,000 accessible ATMs and branch locations across the country. Of course, there's also 5 locations right here in Cobb County. Ready to see how much better your banking can be with Credit Union of Georgia? Become a member today or apply for a loan online by visiting cuofga.org. Credit Union of Georgia, the better way to bank.
Kennesaw's downtown thronged with thousands Saturday afternoon as the city kicked off the holiday season with a parade down Main Street. The procession featured marching bands, twirlers, and floats from local bands, along with Santa Claus himself perched on the bed of a pickup truck. The parade also featured businesses such as Whataburger and the local scout troops. Fred McGriff is finally a Hall of Famer. McGriff was voted in Sunday by the Contemporary Era Committee, which was formed by the Hall to consider players who started since 1980 and were not elected in the annual voting by the Baseball Writers Association of America. 59-year-old McGriff hit 493 home runs during a 19-year controversy-free career that included 13 seasons of 27 or more homers, 7 straight top 10 league MVP finishes, and a World Series championship with the Atlanta Braves. He had 2 stints with his hometown Tampa Bay Rays, as well as time with the Toronto Blue Jays, San Diego Padres, Chicago Cubs, and Los Angeles Dodgers. McGriff was elected unanimously by the 16-member committee. He was the only player elected from an 8-man ballot that also included Albert Belle, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Don Mattingly, Dale Murphy, Rafael Palmeiro, and Curt Schilling. During 10 years on the Baseball Writers Association of America ballot, McGriff never came close to the 75% threshold needed for election, surpassing 24% only in 2019, his final year of eligibility. The lack of support was a source of considerable frustration for his supporters, who felt he was being overlooked and even penalized in comparison to players who were connected to the use of performance-enhancing drugs. McGriff chose to not say much, often just saying that he was happy to be considered.
So, who'd you vote for, Hank?
Nuh-uh. If he tells you, it won't come true.
By the time early voting ended Friday, nearly 1 in every 3 Cobb County voters had already cast a ballot in the runoff election between U.S. Senator Rafael and Republican challenger Herschel Walker. More than 155,510 Cobb voters, or 30.4%, have voted early in person or by absentee ballot. That turnout rate surpasses the state at large, where 1.8 million voters, or 26.4%, have cast a ballot. Early voting totals in Cobb weren't as high as before the November 8th general election, but voters had far less time to cast a ballot 1 week before the runoff, as opposed to 3 weeks before the general election. That resulted in single-day totals that blew past the previous election. Last Monday, for example, saw over 27,000 voters cast a ballot in person, resulting in long lines at some Cobb polling locations. On Friday, the county said 29,699 people voted early. By way of comparison, the largest single-day total in the general election, which saw short wait times, was around 14,600. In Cobb, the huge voting turnout was overshadowed Friday by a legal dispute over absentee ballots. The American Civil Liberties Union and Southern Poverty Law Center sued the county, alleging that delays in ballot mailing caused by the Thanksgiving holiday had disenfranchised voters. After hours of negotiation, Superior Court Judge Kelly Hill signed off on agreement to extend the absentee ballot deadline by 3 days to December 9th for any voter whose absentee ballot application was accepted on or before November 26th. Ballots in that category must be postmarked by Tuesday, December 6th, which is Election Day. Three players scored in double figures, and Kell used an opportunistic defense to keep McEachern at bay and win their matchup 67-62 in the Tournament of Champions Showcase at Wheeler High School on Saturday. The Longhorns, the number one team in Class 5A, trailed only twice the entire game at 8-6 in the first quarter and then 40-39 in the third, and found a way to win despite missing 7-foot center Peyton Marshall. Coach Jermaine Sellers said Marshall could have played if it was a playoff game, but the team did not want to take the chance this early in the season. To offset his absence, Kell played the entire game with an added sense of urgency, grabbing nearly every loose ball, getting hands in passing lanes, and creating steals. Each time McEachern, which was playing without starting guard Moses Hips, seemed to get back into the game, Kell would force a turnover and push its lead back to 4 or 5 points, which it was the majority of the second half. The Longhorns needed to do all those things to help offset the performance of the Indians' Ace Bailey. The 6'9" junior forward, a day after scoring 34 points against South Cobb, kept McEachern in the game with a 30-point performance.
Unknown error. Every time I think my business is on track, I get these computer issues that shut me down for a day.
Ever since my business partnered with Click IT of Marietta, I don't even worry about those types of things. They're local, they have 20 years experience, and specialize in helping small businesses just like mine and yours.
Do they handle hardware and software?
Hardware, software, malware, you name it. Just tell them when and where, and they will be there. Visit them online at marietta.clickitcomputers.com or give them a call at 678-202-4600. Instead of submitting a support ticket, call Marietta Click-It.
Engineered Solutions is your locally owned and operated commercial and residential foundation company that specializes in foundation repair, basement waterproofing, and crawl space encapsulation.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. I've done the research already, so you don't have to.
Dial 678-ESOG now.
The Cobb Galleria and Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center released its annual report this week, and business for both is back in full swing. For the first time since 2019, both venues were financially in the black. That was made possible due to the full return of live entertainment and events at two of Cobb's largest and busiest destinations. The Galleria hosted 187 events, up from less than 100 events in its previous fiscal year. Approximately 229,000 people visited the venue. CPAC, meanwhile, held 178 events and brought in 180,000 guests after hosting next to no events during the depths of the pandemic. The authority also boasted its best sales tax proceeds since before the pandemic. After generating about $1.7 million last year, the authority reported its venues generated $7.5 million in revenue from sales, liquor, hotel, motel, and other taxes. Wheeler opened the second half on a 10-2 run to build a double-digit lead and gradually pulled away from a pesky Kimball High School from Texas squad 77-61 in the final game of the Tournament of Champions Showcase at Wheeler High School on Saturday. Kimball kept the game close throughout the first half and trailed only 30-28 at the break, so Coach Larry Thompson said it was important to get off to a good start in the third quarter. The main big guy in the middle was 6'9" forward Arrington Page. The USC signee took full advantage, finishing the night with a team-high 21 points, including 6 dunks along with 12 rebounds. Leading 41-34 with a three-pointer and a dunk by Jelani Hamilton, who finished with 12 points, pushed the Wildcats' lead to 46-34. Back-to-back dunks by Page late in the quarter gave Wheeler, the number one team in Class 7A, a 50-40 advantage before 5 straight points by Tejon Brown, who led all scorers with 24 points, cut the lead to 5 to start the fourth quarter. Isaiah Collier, who had 16 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds, finally found his groove in the final 8 minutes. He opened the quarter with a driving layup, got fouled, and made the free throw. He added 4 more points as the game came to a close, but he set up 3 of Page's 4 dunks down the stretch with some big-time assists. A Page dunk and a three-pointer by Hamilton pushed the lead back into double digits at 65-54. A dunk and a putback by Ricky McKenzie made the lead 13 at the 2:48 mark, and 2 more dunks by Page put Wheeler up 75-61. Josh Hill scored 9 points and McKenzie added 8.
Are you struggling to find the right home in these tough markets? Hi, I'm Jeffrey Drake of Drake Realty. With 7 offices across Metro Atlanta and 2 right here in Cobb County. The real estate market in Cobb County can be competitive. That's why you need a team on your side. My team of over 700 agents is one of the biggest in the county, and we have been turning dreams into realities for 28 years now. Next time you decide to buy or sell in Cobb, trust the team that knows the lay of the land. Visit us online at drakerealty.com.
Thanks again for listening to today's Marietta Daily Journal podcast. Did you know over 50% of Americans listen to podcasts weekly? Make sure you join us for our next episode and share this podcast on social media with your friends and family. You can find us on TikTok at MDJ Podcast, add us to your Alexa Flash Briefing or Google Home Briefing, and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. Darren Sutherland, Executive Director. Jacob Sutherland, Director. Matt Golden, News Director. Chen Ray Zhang, Director Producer. And Jason Gentarola, Audio Producer. All rights reserved.